swept away. I'm cornered in the cold where you left me. Left again. Oh, there's a jungle in my head growing wilder, and it's killing me. I cannot let you go. I cannot let you go. I cannot let you go. I cannot let you go.
Hello, everyone. We're laughing because all the issues have happened so far. So hopefully you can hear us and hopefully you can hear us and see us. Please tell us if that's not the case. I don't even know how. I somehow like made the comment color the same color as the background. So the comments weren't showing up when I was selecting them. And I hit to go live just randomly instead of into the scheduled broadcast. So we're off to a great start this Wednesday.
Somewhere out there is a 1 second clip of Katie and I going,
whoa.
And then fade to black.
But we are here, and I've put myself down this week as still audio novice, but I now have done 3 days of a all-intensive workshop with Doc Rock, and Jill is about to bring the audio fire. So I feel like I'm in a good space to maybe help answer questions, and Doc can correct me, and Jill can correct me. All of you can correct me if I'm wrong. But a couple of quick just housekeeping before we get started. If you didn't attend the audio workshop and you're like, oh my goodness, I missed everything and I'm freaking out. Don't worry. We are not doing replays in the traditional way that we normally do because we want to be able to trim and edit and have Luis work Luis magic on those videos to make them just really fast and quick and digestible content so that you can grab the exact information that you need really easily. So it is coming along with like a full audio workshop guide. So we'll have in any format you'd like to be able to give you the information that you need, but coming soon. So probably early March-ish timeframe. So hang in there with us. If you're like, I just can't, Katie, I need to watch all 6 hours of content. We do have the unlisted YouTube link. So if you email me, I will send them to you, but it was very in depth and it will be a long time for you to work your way through them. So I love enthusiasm. So I'm all about the enthusiasm. How's it going, Jill?
Today was one of those days, Katie, Ecamm Katie, running all over the place. But I was so happy to join you this Wednesday and any Wednesday because we just like to hang out together.
Yeah, we're selfish.
But
this is just for us.
This is really all 30 of you. We need you. We need you.
We need you. Don't go
anywhere.
We love you.
Especially Doc, because we're definitely, I love that Katie wrote knows about mics. I think that's an accurate description because if she wrote like microphone audio pro, I would be uncomfortable with that. But that's what Doc's here for.
Yeah.
And a few of you others that are pros. So if we run into a question we don't know how to answer, we are super good at saying, I don't know, but I will find somebody who does know.
We will, we will help. We will find someone.
Yes.
And we do have lots of resources for that. Like if you're like, no, I really need for Jill to go through the details of how microphone technology works, that we do have our like favorite favorite person right from the Shure team, Laura Davidson, is usually available at any point to answer questions in the community, but we have a lot of videos from her about microphones and microphone technology and how microphones work here on YouTube. So yeah, she's got our backs.
And like anything, you can probably find a YouTube tutorial for anything. So if you've got a specific question or situation or even a specific budget, there's probably a tutorial out there, and either we'll help you find it or
mics are sexy.
Mics are
sexy. I know, Katie. I match my I match today. I have my orange. I'm still in New England until tomorrow, so I'm still in my sweater. I'm still cold. Yeah, absolutely. And I saw someone earlier was asking, let me find it here, about virtual microphones. So we can absolutely cover that too. I got to scroll back up. Here's somewhere. Oh, Tony wanted to know about, if you have questions about the virtual mic, throw them over. If you're like, what is a virtual microphone? We can answer those questions too. But you can grab it right now. The Ecamm virtual mic is in beta testing. So you just have to go to ecamm.com/beta for our UK friends. Grab that and test it out. I gave a good explanation about it earlier. Let me try again. If you are the person who wants to be able to use Ecamm Live to run and produce a webinar, a training, a live course, a meeting, and you want to just show up, dazzle, and impress everyone, then what you need is the Ecamm virtual camera, which is going to let you take this beautiful the people and the frames around us and all of our fun names
and the B-roll
and everything. Yep. You want to turn on Ecamm's virtual camera, and then you want to turn on Ecamm's brand new virtual microphone, and then in Zoom or Meet or Teams or whatever other video conferencing tool you're in, you're going to select your camera in that platform in Zoom as Ecamm virtual camera. You're going to set your microphone as Ecamm virtual microphone. And what that's going to do is send a one-way connection, okay? This is the important part for everyone to keep an eye. One-way connection from Ecamm into Zoom, Teams, blah, 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 video conferencing platform. So that means you can roll all your video clips, all your sound effects, your music. You can change all your scenes, add in all your cameras, all your fancy stuff that you know how to do in Ecamm. All shows up, and people can hear all of that in Zoom. If you're real fancy and you want the audio from Zoom to go back into Ecamm and make a full circle audio flow. Loopback. Yeah, Loopback is your option there. So in answer to everyone who's always like, oh, Katie, you made me spend a whole bunch of money on Loopback and then you released the virtual microphone. If you spent the money on Loopback, chances are you're probably using it for just the one way from Ecamm into other platform here. So you will still need Loopback for all of those other things, because we're trying to make it easier for people who are doing fairly easy things. If you're awesome and you're doing awesomely complicated things, then you need extra help. And that's what Loopback is there for. Yep. I love it.
And you know what? Kevin Lyons did a live stream in the Ecamm community the other day that I thought was super helpful. I love all of the behind the scenes of all right, guys, this is how I'm doing this. Even if you're not polished, even if you're using your cell phone cam, I highly recommend sharing to the community how you do some of these things, because there's just so many little nuggets, things that you do that you don't realize are complex or solving other people's problems. So anyways, Kevin was doing something the other day, and he does a lot of integration through NDI with multiple different Macs.
Yeah, he's an advanced user.
He is an advanced user. And then I know Kirk does some really cool things with integrating Zooms and stuff like that. So Loopback is still, if you're wanting to do more complex stuff, it's still value added, and it's only $100, right? So it's
and we'll give you
bad.
$30 or 30%. It's the same. If you email us marketing@ecamm.com, we're happy to give a discount for that. If you're like, hang on, I need all of the audio control. I want to pass it through everywhere. I want to pass the audio through everywhere and back again. Loopback's your thing. But we're really excited about the virtual microphone, because I think it solves a lot of problems for a lot of users who just want to be able to show up better in those different video conferencing applications. And they are just like, I don't really want to do anything more than just have my audio play when I hit it in Ecamm. I just want my sound effect to play and the Zoom people to hear it. So we have solved that problem. Please grab it and test it out and let us know what you think about it.
Especially with like pitch decks and stuff. If you're going to be doing a pitch to a potential client and you're wanting to look your best and sound your best, and basically before you hop on that call, create a seamless presentation where you're going from your talking head to your slides to a video. It's having done this without Ecamm, it's a lot by myself. It's a lot to juggle in Zoom or what's the one with Microsoft
Teams?
Teams. It is not super intuitive, and there's a lot of this. Hold on, continue, guys. All right.
Well, in audio, it makes it worse.
Much of that.
Yeah, audio makes it worse because I feel and hang in there with me because I'm not bad mouthing audio, but I am the person where I feel like many of you are like me and maybe aren't just admitting it. So I'm just going to admit it for all of us. It's a scary, terrifying, horrifying feeling when you've just like nailed it and said an amazing thing and someone's like, I can't hear you. Or even worse than that, worse than the you're on mute or experience is when everything is coming through doubled and people are like, it's echoing, I can't hear. And they lose their mind and they just want to leave. They just want to make that horrible sound stop. It's nails on a chalkboard for a lot of people. So, and it's not immediately evident like where it's coming from, and you may not notice right off. So it's a little bit harder to troubleshoot. So the easier you can make that process, the better.
Yes. And even you make a great point in terms of, I can watch a crummy produced video. In fact, like 90% of the videos that I watch and entertain me, like on TikTok or other platforms, are not great video quality. But if the audio is garbage or like painful or hard to decipher, I have no tolerance for crappy audio, but I can handle crappy video. Like I was for those of you who don't know me, I was in a viral video that led to me winning a car on the Ellen show and all sorts of fun stuff. That's another story for another time. But look at that. Miss Jill, twins, sister, freaks out, something like that. Anyways, but that video was absolute crap video. I mean, it was my husband on his cell phone just captured the moment. This is before I knew how to video edit, so it's all like
so you look back on it in shame.
In shame. But the audio wasn't distorted. The only issue with our audio was that my husband was chomping on his gum, so that's and it's funny because I look through the comments, they're like, oh my God, this is such a sweet moment. Oh, this is so nice. Oh, this is so cool. Tell your husband to stop chomping on his gum. So
there's always someone.
The 11 million views, there's always someone. But anyway, so audio is so important, which we're now going to talk about. I have a bunch of different props. I don't have multiple cameras set up because I worked today and it is what it is. But I will say, I've made a lot of mistakes in audio. I've also purchased a lot of things, like before gas was a thing. I purchased
pre-gas
all the
gas.
Things. And then I've circled back to like, okay, these are my favorites. And then these are things I'll hold on to because they still serve a purpose. I do a lot of live streaming, but I also do a ton of pre-recorded, just regular video production. So I will happily share my favorite things and when I use what and all of that.
I think
bad audio is unwatchable, Mr. Camera Junkie. You are.
It is.
So right.
All right, I'm just making sure we don't miss any questions. Tony, I think we answered your question, but yes, in case we didn't. So it carries through anything that you're playing in Ecamm, including interview sound. So if I wanted to like take this interview with Jill and I and send it into a meeting that a whole bunch of Zoom participants were sitting there watching, they would be able to hear both Jill and I, so Jill's audio source and but we would not both hear them back. So that's the thing to carry through. I love all these comments. I'm just making sure I'm not missing any questions before we jump in.
So many awesome people.
Nerd goals.
In the chats today.
I love it.
And Doc, I saw Doc's comment towards the very top. Yeah, Mr. Doc, I'll see you soon.
Woo, 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 woo. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah, this is a great question, and Doc gave a lot of like really great insights about this over the last few days. It is your show, is what he said, which I really resonated with me. So if you have guests that really are not taking it seriously, maybe they're not the right guests. Like, guests should want to show up and look their best and sound their best. And if they're not going to follow your best practices to do that, then they are not only making themselves look bad, but they're making you and your show look bad as well. So a sound check goes a really long way. Setting expectations from the start. So your guest, like when you invite a guest on your show, your checklist should be like, you can't come on my show unless you have this, this, and this. And I'm going to walk you through the entire process so that you look and sound your best. But here are the base level requirements of what you need to be able to join this show. I think most people at least understand that. And if you've said that to them right at the start, you've set the expectations pretty clearly.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, there's some, I've been on a couple of streams where someone forgot to change. Well, this was one stream. I'm not going to exaggerate. There was one stream on a live stream I was on where someone didn't have the battery in their smoke detectors. So every
Beep.
60 seconds you heard this terrible chirp. And I don't know about you guys. I don't know if it's my ADHD brain, but there's certain sounds and things that go straight through me. And the chirping from a smoke alarm is definitely a trigger. So maybe I shouldn't have shared that with Doc. I feel like he's going to.
I know. Yeah. No one make that as a sound
Rodecaster
effect.
Pro.
No one make that as a sound effect. All right. A few more questions and we'll jump in. Jill grabs all of her stuff nearby. Lisa wants to know, does anyone have any suggestions for how to manage noise in a shared office? That's it. Yeah. That is really that's tricky.
Getting a mic that, like the Shores, I always forget, 7B. Getting a what is it, a dynamic
SM7B. Sure, SM7B.
Getting a microphone like this, and actually I'm going to show you a super cheaper version. Basically a microphone that's you're going to plug in through an audio interface. These type of microphones are designed to be picked up closely and will mute out some of the background noise. That's why, like, for me, a mom of 4 with 2 stupid Newfie dogs that could go off at any point. I knew for my home office, I needed to invest in a microphone that would basically just pick up what's really close to the microphone. I don't know if I explained that super well. I bet, Doc, if you're here, if you want to throw in some actual science behind that. I mean,
Doc, drop in some
I was
science.
a science teacher for 11 years, but still.
Yeah, Doc's throwing in some additional answers there, and others are helping as well. But yeah, dynamic mics will go a long way for sure. So yeah, that's a great question. All right, Jill, let's see your mics. You know about mics.
All right. I know about some microphones. So I think if you're a noob to live streaming or even just upping your conference calls using Ecamm, you might have started off with something like this. This is a toner USB microphone. It's adorable. I lost the stand for it, so I've been putting it in a makeshift one. I don't know how I lost the stand for a microphone, but
I thought you were going to say I've been throwing it in my makeup bag, so I don't know where the stand is. So it's
sad. But so microphones like this, when I was first starting with, like, literally just doing my first Zoom, I did what all good people did, which was using the computer's built-in microphone. But then my fans would go off, and that was terrible. And then I upgraded to those microphones with the headphone microphones. And then this was step 3, getting a designated USB microphone. The issue with this that I found was that it does pick up so much everything, and it just, there's this constant kind of like no matter what setting I'm in, there's always this extra noise that you'll get from a USB microphone. So what I'm going to do right now is actually I'm going to switch to a different USB microphone. Give me just a second. Okay, I'm going to do that thing where can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
All right, so now this This is the Elgato Wave 3 mic. And so for me, I have it on the Elgato arm, which I really like. It's nice. I can swivel it out of the way. But also this is my microphone that I bring when I don't want to set things up, when I want to just be plug and play. So the benefit of a USB microphone is that you don't need to buy an extra audio interface. There's only like microphone, cable, computer, and you're good to go. So there's huge benefits for microphones like this that do kind of deafen out some of the noise. But if I had my kids, if I was in my living room, you would be able to hear a lot more. But I do think that the quality of a microphone like this, and have you used the Wave 3 at all, Katie?
I very, very briefly. So Elgato was really kind and sent me like a kit of all of their amazing equipment, and I used it for a bit. But because mics were one of those things I had a bunch of, and Caleb didn't have any of, I sent him a care box over. So Caleb has the Wave 3 at the moment, but is loving it.
Yeah.
Caleb just thinks it's fantastic. So it's definitely a popular choice for a lot of people. Yeah, it's a good option for sure. And it has an additional app. It has an app too, right? So it's like, I mean, so do the Shure microphones have the Votive app, but the Wave 3 app, the interface of the Wave 3 application, which I'm probably misnaming it, I don't know specifically what it's called, but the interface is really cool. And it actually made it helped me to understand like audio routing a little bit better. Maybe that's the wrong way to phrase that, but it made sense to me a lot more than a lot of the other different options out there. I was like, oh, I understand. Like I'm turning these sliders up and down. I was like, I get this.
People are mentioning gate, and that is so great to see. So before I started doing video production, I was a teacher for years and years, and I do a lot of music, so I sing and play the piano. I'm not going to sing for you now because I'm like so shy. I hate the spotlight. It's so embarrassing. Oh my God, don't make me sing. Don't make me sing. I'm not going to sing. It's so embarrassing. But the issue of gate, so this is my favorite singing microphone, the SM58. So this is my go-to microphone when I'm singing live. I would not use this in a live stream unless I wanted to drop the mic. Anyways, but the issue of gate. So basically, there's I'm gonna butcher this explanation, but there needs to be a certain amount of sound. So you can set it like basically anything under this decibel is going to be muted. So you have to open the gate and then sound will come through. So we would have issues. Oh God, am I frozen like that?
No, you're okay. You're okay.
I can't be frozen. I'm now because I've been frozen so many times. I'm more aware of my crazy like facial expressions that could be frozen. Screenshots.
I'm
the
the same way. It always freezes on like my like face where I'm just like, oh my goodness, that went badly for me.
Like two chins.
Yeah.
So every room is different. Every microphone is different, and I'm not going to plug the Amazon or Best Buy borrowing policy because I think it's wrong to buy something, test it out, and then return it.
You should never do
after
that.
a certain amount of time. But if you're wanting to, I'm just saying, I said what I said, and everybody else can read between the lines. But getting back to all of this, I think that USB microphones, unless you're going with something that's a slightly higher price point, like $150, $200, most USB microphones are going to pick up so much in the sound. And a big issue, the reason why I went from USB to dynamic is because I started making money producing podcasts and video live streams, and I needed to have multiple people in the same room at the same time. Yeah. And so my first few times of trying things out, I had whatever equipment the place had. So I had like one of those snowball ones here and then one of the other ones over there. And I had to actively mute each person when we were talking back and forth because we were both picked up and we were far away. We were like over 10, 15 feet away, but still our voices were picked up. And so you would get this uncomfortable, unwatchable echo going back and forth. So if you're going to be in person producing, or if you want the ability to get jobs that maybe pay a little bit more to do in-person live streaming and interviewing, then you're going to need to get comfortable with using something other than USB microphones.
It's really, really not hard. So this mic right here is the MV7 with fancy orange on it, thanks to Doc. But these microphones, which we've been saying like ad nauseum for the last few months now, have both USB and XLR. So I'm actually connected by a USB today. That's why Doc keeps asking where my orange cable is. It's here, Doc. But what makes them really nice is that when it's just me in the office by myself and I'm doing a stream or recording a video, it's pretty fast and easy for me just to plug it in with USB, and I sound great and I feel confident and I'm great. When it's both Ken and Glenn in the studio and I'm, producing or helping out on the side, XLR means that they're literally just going from the cable into our Rodecaster Pro. And if I can set it up, anyone can set it up, because I was like, wow, this has a lot of buttons and lights and it looks friendly and also terrifying, and I just don't know what to do with this. And it took about 5 minutes to plug everything in and be like, oh, okay, this isn't that big of a deal.
To get up and running. Yes.
Fast and super easy.
Yep.
And then obviously you can do a lot more from there, but it took all of 5 to 10 minutes for us to be able to plug in both of our mics, have them be able to go live and do a stream where they were both in the same room. They both sounded great. We didn't hear any slapback or feedback or echoes or weird sound things that were coming. All the different sound things that you think might happen. So yeah, they're great. They're great mics. So I think they're a good choice for anyone.
Yeah. So can I ask for everybody that's in the chat? And I did a more in-depth presentation about audio with Junaid last week on a conference that he did. But can I ask everyone in the chat, are you team show your mic, or are you team no show your mic? Because that's something important to think about. When I first started live streaming, I was like team no show. Like, I'm not going to give these microphones like free product placement in my streams. No. Also, you need to see all of me. That was kind of my mindset. And then I started streaming with microphones that were farther away. I didn't like how my voice sounded. I didn't like that there was so much of the room and space sound picked up. And I listened and I listened and I listened to other people's streams, and I was like, oh man, I think that that's going to sound best for my voice. So I see a couple team no show, team show, team show your mic. Yeah, team show. So there's a lot of content creators in our space that are moving a lot, and these people are so flipping impressive to me. People that are teaching, people that are doing yoga, and all sorts and everything in between. And there are a couple microphones that I can recommend that I've personally used for streaming and for just regular video production. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people's comments. Show the mic and sound better. I like the radio look. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different positions. I hope I'm not hurting your ears, but there's so many different ways to pull your microphone in as well. So it doesn't have to be like the main point, but it does show a level of legitimacy. Anyways, with if you're wanting to have a completely wireless microphone, there are some different options. I have one that's out of reach, but there are lapel mics that you can use that you pin to your shirt. You can even gaff tape it to your skin, and it shouldn't peel off your skin unless you have to use that. But there's different ways to attach a lapel mic, and then it would be wired into a receiver. No, into a, am I saying it right? No, into your pack, and then you'd plug in your receiver into your computer. Now, there's lots of different ways to do that. What I have done has been I've plugged in the receiver, the receiver into my Ecamm Mini, and the Ecamm Mini can bring in the audio that way. But there's also capture cards that have an audio plug. And some of these are compatible USB right into your computer. So do your different research if you're wanting to do a completely wireless tether-free setup. This is a product I really, really love for pre-production, and I've used it with live streaming a little bit. So this is the Pico Stream. They do not do affiliates, unfortunately. I've sold so many of these this week.
I know
Because
they're awesome. We've used them a number of times now on your recommendation, and they've been great for a variety of different kinds of streams or productions, for sure.
The cool thing about this is that here's the microphone, but this is not the microphone. Do you see this tiny blue dot? I wish I had better lighting over here, but the microphone itself, I'm wearing all black, of course.
I know you can't hold it in front of me. I'm sorry.
Like this. Mm-hmm. Here's my recall on my car. Okay. So the microphone itself is this tiny little dot on there. Okay. So the pack goes on the inside of your shirt, and this literally looks like you are just putting a pen cap on your shirt. Mm-hmm. It is teeny tiny. I think that it sounds great.
It sounds great.
Yep. You can control things how you'd like. You can see as I'm talking, they're going here, but it comes with 2 microphones.
Mm-hmm. One for you and a friend.
Boom, boom. One for me and one for a friend. And what I've done also, if you ever do like pop-up live streams on your cell phone, you can plug this with the right dongle into your phone and use this for when you're doing different demos. Like if you're big into TikTok and you really want to be able to move around and have your audio stay with you. And like, I see so many videos where the audio sounds great. They're close to the camera. Then they move a couple feet away and their audio's gone. And I'm such a snob. Like, I will not have that. I'm not doing it. Actually, I'm swiping. Yeah. So this is called a Pico Stream. There's a Google Doc I made that.
Yeah, in the description that you can grab Jill's mostly audio gear guide from today.
And then everything else.
And then everything else, if you wanna grab them. They're also, I can't remember off the top of my head the exact price, but they were comparable. Like it wasn't like it was outrageously expensive, and for what they are and for what they do. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think they're a great solution, even if you're the person who doesn't want the mic in shot, but you still want to sound great. If you take these mics and you put them out of shot, no one hears you. Your audio is terrible. So if you're really Team No Show, you need a different kind of microphone in order to be Team No Show. You can't use these microphones and sound good. Or it's the same as if you get up and walk away. You need to be near them.
So if I have, like, now my microphone's out of my shot.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking at the same volume.
What's
do
that?
I sound? What?
What's that? We can't hear
you. And it not only sounds softer, but it sounds weird. It's got that weird sound effect.
Yeah,
I'll show you another mic. But
there, Tony put it. So yeah, for $400. I'm assuming that Tony's in the States, so $400 USD. Let's assume. Yeah, I mean, again, it's an investment in your business, and if you're the kind of person who's a presenter or you're a fitness instructor, or you're doing something where you need to be on the move, or you need to move your hands, or you just really, the aesthetic is really important to you. As Jill said, you can use these in a variety of different ways and in all kinds of different video creations. So yeah, it's an awesome point.
Yeah. The battery life is ridiculously good. It can also, the distance that it can pick up, I can't remember what it is, but I will say I have twin 6-year-olds that played flag football, and I mic'd them up during a football game. I need to find and share this footage because it is adorable. But yeah, I had that plugged into the shoe mount on the top of my camera, my DSLR, and then I was at their game. And I could pick up their audios, and it was really, really adorable.
That's adorable. I love it.
There are lots of options if you're wanting to be Team No Show. So one is a lapel mic, and then another option is like a shotgun mic, and you might be able to set it up right out of shot. Loria does some really great tutorials on this, so you can head over there and check out Loria's microphone. She did the behind the scenes for that big conference, and she went into all of the redundancy she had for audio, because audio is just that important.
Yeah. Yeah,
those
absolutely.
Who know show James Hick.
Team No Show, Team No Watch. It's true. People will put up with a lot that they are not going to put up with if they can't hear you, or if the audio is making like crazy sounds that are grating at their ear. It's not going to happen. So definitely it's something you need to get sorted out. And it really, really, I mean, I'm hoping all of us have at least one friend who can just hang out for a second or two on a stream with you to test it out. Like if you don't have a friend, we're your friends. Drop a note into the community. We can be friends with you. But I know it's a scary thing to kind of test it out and run the risk of everything going wrong, but we've all been there. So don't let those feelings go. Testing it out is better than just assuming it's right or hoping it's right or getting angry when it's wrong on the other side. So
yes. Now, if you're doing a production, so do you want to talk about audio interface?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
So a lot of these dynamic microphones, you'll need to make them talk to a computer. So you'll need an audio interface. So for this microphone, it needs an extra boost. So I have this XLR plugged into a cloud lifter, which is giving it some more power because I'm not strong enough, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And then that's going into, in this setup, I have a Focusrite audio interface, but right now I have it going into the Wave XLR, which is I'm a little afraid to move it because I'm afraid I will unplug it. But it's this cute little teeny tiny little box, and it's just for one microphone. So for my home setup, it's great. It plugs right in, talks to my computer. There's a couple dials, but it's not too complicated. So I like that. But for my corporate work that I do a bi-weekly live video podcast at Economic Development Corporation, which I've said so many times. And I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but here we go. And we have at least 3 and up to 7 people in the room during a live stream. So all of them have a super cheap microphone. It's called a manly mic.
The manly mic.
Manly. I have this linked as well. I think they've changed, the company's changed the name of it, so it doesn't say manly on it anymore.
That's sad.
But essentially, it is so sad.
Makes me sad.
I know. Why they have to do that? So these microphones, I had a strict budget, but we had many people in the same room. So what I ended up purchasing was a mixing board. It's a Zoom Track 8 or something like that. Again, it's linked in the description. But I have all of the microphones. So everyone has a microphone in their shot, on brand. Everybody's looking the same. They have the same type of stand. And then all of those are XLR into a mixing board, which I have right next to me as we're live streaming. And then it's brought in. That one you can either do USB straight out into your computer, but I have it going through Focusrite. I don't remember why I did that, but there's a reason for that. So if you're having multiple people in the room, you're going to run out of inputs at some point, or you might not be a fan of like the Scarlett interface, or there's a ton of different ones. You might need to get a soundboard. If you're a musician, what's great is you can use it for live streaming, and then you can use it for performing out. I use the same exact soundboard for doing small gigs with my keyboard, vocals, my friend on the guitar. And so like you can use it for multiple purposes, but something to consider and look into.
Well, welcome, Phil. Thanks for hanging out with us. No worries for being late. We're always happy to answer questions. We're both using Shure microphones. This one here is the MV7, and it is both a USB and an XLR microphone, so you can change back and forth between, or apparently we learned this week you can plug both things in. So there's lots of different options, but currently I'm using it with USB, so it's literally just plugged directly into my Mac, and I have it connected into Ecamm. And Jill's using, well, you just changed. I was gonna say you're using the XM7, and you're not. You're lying.
I figured I would like show something different since we were the same C's, but mine's the 7B. So that one does not have the USB out. It just has the XLR. But I'm really happy with that purchase, except I need like a different color fluffy thing on top.
Oh yeah. What color? We'll have to send you one. You'll have to let us know.
I'm thinking maybe yellow or Ecamm orange. I'm not really sure.
Yellow orange. All right. Yeah,
Katie, you are much louder than Jill.
I
can turn up my mic.
Let us know if it's better now. I messed with it in Ecamm too, so maybe now we'll be.
Now I'm going to be peeking out and breaking everybody's eardrums.
How are we now? We'll give a couple seconds for people to answer since there is latency. Let's see if there's any other questions that we missed. This is a great. If you don't want to test live, and you want to still be able to test out your audio, you can absolutely just hit the record only button and make a recording. The only thing that is not awesome about that as an option is that there are other things that happen in a live stream. So like your audio may sound great, but you might be missing other things along the way in that run of show that are important to you. So if you are actually like testing for a live stream, you should probably test by going live, because it could be a bunch of different things. So, but yeah, great question. I like that.
I've got something to say. I got something to say. I'm so dramatic. One of the things that's potentially not talked about as much as what camera are you using? What microphone are you using? What lighting are you using? Monitoring sound for live stream production is so incredibly important. So let me tell you some fails I've had so that you don't have to make the same mistake. But wait, there's more. So I did a concert a while back where I had, musicians, right? And I thought everything sounded great, but I had too many inputs, and the microphones I kept separate from the instruments. So my soundboard wasn't big enough. We had extra singers. And what happened was I had the microphones going in through my Ecamm. I was capturing it that way. And long story short, I was not actively monitoring because I was a noob. And there was this awful delay. So the music sounded great. I could hear the music, and I just trusted that the music sounded great. I checked the audio levels later. And then when we went live, I took out my headphones because I was singing and it was throwing me off. So when I went back on that recording, I was so disappointed because everybody was so impressed because it was the beginning of the pandemic. So they were impressed with the video quality, but the audio quality was unlistenable because the singers were I think we were slightly before. So if you're doing a song that's like, and it was just awful. Some people said, it wasn't that noticeable, but that's all I heard. So I've unlisted that video. So that's one thing. If you're performing, that's another reason for Loopback and monitoring straight from your microphone, because anyways, monitor your streams. Another great example of this, if you are live streaming something like sporting events, you've got to be aware of where your NAT sound. So the sound, you want to pick up the sound from the room, like at a hockey game. You want the sound of the puck. You want the sound of the skaters. You want the sound of the crowd, but you don't want to put a microphone next to angry coaches or pissed off parents.
Yeah.
And if you are producing a show, especially if you're not on it, make sure you are actively listening and adjusting and being as proactive as you would be with video, be as vigilant with audio, because there's too much. You don't want to have that fail. You don't want to have that drop, and you can't undo a live stream. So especially if you're producing and you're not in it, you have no excuse to not actively monitor and make sure that it's all set. I've seen so many mistakes, even just with things being way too loud, but especially at sporting events, people are like, I put the NAT sound, and then there wasn't a parent sitting there at the time. And then a parent sat there, and then you hear their private conversation live streamed for the world. So I have seen that happen way too much as a viewer, and it's super frustrating because you just know that they said it and they forget it, and it's a terrible habit. Don't do it. Don't do it. Jill can turn up her gain now. You know what? I'll just put on my other microphone.
I know. I'm sorry. I let you finish, everyone. I appreciate all of the feedback. This is what's going to happen when we're changing microphones and messing around with things while we're live.
100%.
100%. All right, I'm going to move back in Ecamm so that we're the same. Let's see how that goes.
Thank you. Okay, I'm talking. How do I sound? Am I too loud? Am I too soft?
That mic sounds much better to me. The other one,
yes.
Yeah, was just it came in a bit louder. So yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Hello.
So here I am talking
nice
about
crisp.
Actively monitoring your audio, but because I'm the guest, I'm not able to see my balance level compared to Katie. So I'm going to blame Katie.
Yeah, it's my fault.
I mean, why would I not?
Yeah, that's here. That's here.
Okay.
I'm a novice. I've clearly identified myself as that. Oh, glad to hear it, Scott. I love it. And thanks so much, Keely. I think that monitoring is super important. And again, it's easier to monitor video quality because you can just see it. It is a lot harder monitoring audio and also responding to audio. If someone like Jill just is in the middle of like a really great explanation or giving some helpful information, it is very difficult. You as the producer can make adjustments, but you might need for them to stop, and you have to make some different calls on how you're going to approach doing that. So live audio is like riding a wave. Absolutely.
100%. But there's that great feature in Ecamm where you can get your, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't used it a lot, but I know that it's out there, the ISO recordings.
Yeah. So let's actually show people where that is, because I feel like it's one of those Ken and Glenn love to talk that it's one of those hidden features. So into live demo mode. All right, here we are in live demo mode. If you go over here to Ecamm Live on the top menu and you go down to preferences and you swing over to audio, I'm not able to actually turn that on right now because I'm actively live streaming. But if you click before you go live or record to record isolated audio tracks, what that is going to do is that is going to allow Ecamm to, in addition to saving just the video file of your live stream or what you're recording, it also saves all of the isolated audio files. So my sound, just Jill's sound or any other interview guests I have, just if I play a video, just the sound from that video. So then you can send that over to, someone who's helping with editing, or maybe you are capable of editing yourself. And that could be used for a podcast. It could be used to make tweaks and adjustments to your audio on the other side. So it is something that is helpful to consider as you're getting better at audio and as you're starting to do more with your content. It helps on a number of different fronts.
So one way that that I've thought of using this is that, so I'm going to be doing a new series on my Miss Jill channel where I'm interviewing English language learners and teachers of English as a second language. And so I've got these cool guests. Oh, can you guys hear my dogs?
No, I don't hear the dogs.
See the beauty of this microphone. I have two Newfoundlands, which are over 110 pounds each, and they are losing their ever-loving mind. But you can't hear it. So for isolated audio tracks, a great use case of this is I want to do a show that's going to be kind of game showy feeling. So I want to be able to integrate music, but I also so I want to have music kind of in the background for a lot of sections of my upcoming show. But then in post-production, I don't want it, because I'm going to be cutting out the ums and the oohs and the so. I'm going to be cutting out those moments, but I want to put together video of the interviewer and the interviewee and repurpose it for TikTok and whatnot. So having that activated is huge for me, because I'm okay with quick cuts, fast cuts, but I'm not okay with like music being under that, because then it's gonna give someone stress. You must hear my dogs.
I did that time. I did that. I did that time. I didn't before, but I did that time. The mic can only do so much. Okay, there's only so much.
I'm gonna mute myself for 1 second and yell at my dog.
All right, do it. Wow, dogs. There, just so everyone. Oh, I love it. Well, we are nearing the end of our time. This hour always goes by so quickly. And as all of you who are regular viewers know, I have to run down and save Ken from my child. Ken is teaching a children's coding class down the hall here from the Ecamm office. And it is always super, super fun. But all of the gear that Jill talked about in this live is in the description in her little audio gear guide, mostly audio gear guide. So if you want to learn more about that, you absolutely can. And I'm trying to get better at promo. So we are going to be Jill and I and Doc and Ken and Glenn and Diana and Luria, and like just a preposterous amount of people are going to be in San Diego at the Wine and Culinary Center the Sunday evening. So March 13th from 5 to 8 p.m. is just a party, like food, drinks, who knows what else craziness is going to happen. Ken and Glenn are going to talk about
karaoke, right?
Karaoke. What's up, karaoke? Ken and Glenn are going to talk about all cool, fun features. You can just chat and hang out with people. And then the following day, So the all day Monday, the 14th, we're going to be in the same location. So that San Diego Wine and Culinary Center, which is just across the road, basically, give or take a bit from the convention center. We'll be there all day, and we're going to have a full live streaming studio. We have a coffee bar with not one, not two, 5 different drink options that we've named cutesy fun names, all on us. the whole thing. It's just going to be a lot of fun. So we were running workshops all day. We have a lot of amazing people who are coming to kind of take over that live stage and show different live shows and have special guests. So if you want to come and hang out with us, or you want to learn more about video or ask gear questions live, it's going to be a really great opportunity to hang out. I'm
if you joined us last week, I had this like terrible FOMO. I was like, oh my God, because I didn't really know.
We forgot to tell Jill. Someone forgot to tell Jill that we were going. She's going to be punching me the entire way.
So I'm going now. I'm going. I'm so excited. So I can't wait to see. I mean, I've hung out with Katie in real life. Don't be jealous, guys. Yeah. You too can hang out with Ecamm Katie. Just go to San Diego.
We'll be in San Diego.
Meet us up.
We will be in San Diego. Lisa, thanks so much for hanging out. It was so great to see you. Tony says, thanks for the gear guide. Absolutely. McRocklin was on. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope everything is going well. Oh, speaking of amazing musicians, Gilman says, that's great. Will someone be live streaming the event? Of course. That's how we roll.
For sure.
We'll be capturing.
We should not live stream it. We should just do the opposite of what everyone's.
Then Tony won't be able to
footage.
Watch. Of course, yeah.
Okay,
we will live stream the different workshops, and there'll be shows and things happening, and we're probably going to be having some silliness and some fun happening on our Instagram stories. So there'll be all kinds of fun. If you haven't seen it yet, so Caleb has been building out our TikTok channel, and Mary Lou has just been like killing it with some really fun videos. So if you're not following us on TikTok yet, that's an awesome space to kind of go over and see what we're up to. She's just made it a fun place to hang out. So we're having a lot of fun over there. But yeah, maybe we'll do some fun TikToks as well. Who knows? Who knows what's possible? But yes to video. Yes to all the video all day long.
All the video and all the audio.
All the video.
And Doc, yes, audio. I know it's karaoke. I know it's not karaoke, but that's how we say it here in Boston. So just deal with it.
It's so true. It's so true. Well, we need to go get some ice dunks and put on our slides and shovel out our driveways. That'll be it from us here in New England. Oh, thanks for hanging out another time, Jill. We'll see. I'm out of town next week, so maybe Jill will be on. Maybe Jill will bring on some special guests. Maybe we'll take a break for a week.
I'll be on with some special guests that we definitely know who they will be.
Yeah, we've planned that out. We're planners.
Guys.
Thanks for hanging out, everyone. And if any questions come up, you know where to find us. Jill is in the community. I'm in the community. She's got a YouTube channel. You're hanging out on our YouTube channel right now. We're happy to answer any questions that come up. Drop them in the comments or send an email over or drop them into the community, but happy to answer everything. Thanks, Jill.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.